It's dark, guys. It's dark. I do apologize. Can you see? Are you looking at me? Let me flip the camera. Let me see. I'll flip the camera this way. I'm in the car heading to work. JOB. Got music on the brain, though. You understand what I'm saying? Like, always got music on the brain. Hold on, the windows all foggy. Let me get some heat going on the windows. You know how it is, right? Get a little bit of that heat blowing up there. Try to unfog that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we gotta do something. I don't know. It's a little crazy, looking a little crazy right there. Looking a little crazy. Let's start driving on. Head out to the JOB. Gotta do what I gotta do. Handle my business. Make some bread, right? Make some bread. Handle my business, right? Anyway, so is sampling harder than creating a song from scratch, original? So the reason why I'm doing this live stream bright and early in the morning, it's like 5 in the morning, New York, East Coast time. Yeah, it's like 5, right? Can y'all see that? I think everything's blurry, man. I think my phone was blurry. I gotta clean everything. Oh, give me a second. I'm on the middle of the street. It's just like that. Let me clean all this stuff off, man. There we go. That's much better. Much better camera, right? Yeah, all right, cool. We good. You know, Popo, right? No 5 around, right? You know how they do. Whoop whoop. You driving a little crazy out there, son. What you doing in that car? You know what I mean? Anyway, let me stop messing with y'all guys and girls. Excuse me. So, I'm doing this video really quick, this live stream, on my way to work just to chop it up. Because I'm in the process of contacting professional audio engineers that have been inside of the game. I just contacted Tony Maserati, and I want to see if it's possible. I know it's a long shot. I know it's a long shot to speak to that man. Like, I'm literally, and like in the game, I'm like pebbles compared to him. It would be a miracle. I mean, a straight up miracle if Tony Maserati sits down with an interview with me. A miracle. But I'm not afraid to ask. And I asked him because Tony Maserati is the individual who did A Woman's Threat by R. Kelly. He's the engineer on that record. He's the engineer on that record. So I said, let me see if I could get in contact with him, and possibly maybe he will do an interview. And inside the interview, I'm not trying to win the debate of, you know, sampling harder to create music than create it from scratch. That's not my objective. My objective is not to get Tony Maserati to be on my side. My objective is to have him explain how long it took for him to gain his knowledge, what equipment was used in creating that song, A Woman's Threat by R. Kelly, which was sampled by Knife Wonder. And that's just one record out of billions of records that have been sampled already, right, in the game. That's just one record. But since we were just on that topic, and I did the video explaining, like, it's not hard to loop up what Knife Wonder did. I did the video, and people were saying a lot of things in that video, saying like, oh, it's easy for you to go back and say it was easy to do this now after it has been done already. That comment right there was like, okay. I get what the person is saying. Like, it's easy to break down what the person did already because you have a blueprint, because you're just listening to it. But if you take that track, A Woman's Threat, that Knife Wonder sample, you could clearly hear all the spaces where there's no drums and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can clearly hear, like, where you can sample. You can hear where you could grab your samples from. I literally can hear the main piano hit. Who's not going to take that main piano hit and put it inside the record? Somebody's going to take that. If you're a sample producer right now and you're listening to this video, this live stream, right, and you heard the song A Woman's Threat, and you hear that piano, you're not going to take that piano and put it into your loop if you're sampling that from that song, that piano sounds so, there's no way, man, you're gonna tell me you're not gonna grab that piano some way, shape, or form, especially if you're a talented musical producer like you say, because you do know, you don't even, that piano sound could be turned into something else. That piano sound doesn't have to stay as a piano sound. Like you said, like you guys said, you could mix and mingle and mangle, and you could chop and you could chop, you can make it your own, you make it sound like your own style, so creative. You could take that piano sound and make it sound like something totally different. But it's mixed extremely well before Knife Wonder even got to that piano sound inside of that song, A Woman's Threat. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. Me break it down, what Knife Wonder did, and it was very simple for me to pick out the chops that he had grabbed in that record. Very, very simple. It wasn't that hard. I'm pretty sure you guys listening to that, if you was doing the comparison yourself, you would be able to grab out the chops too. But you know, a lot of people are not going to do those comparisons because they go with the flow with the game. They go with the flow, like they take everything for what it is. Oh, he or she is excellent. They're all great. They're all legends. They're all the best, man. They make beautiful music. I do the same thing, man. I learn from them. I learned how to chop from them. I learned my music from them. Yeah, they're the greatest, man. I'm not going to disrespect them. I'm not going to tear anything they doing there. I'm not going to go against anything that they're saying. I'm not going to try to debunk their knowledge, their logic, no, nothing. I'm just, they're right. They're right. And 05 Dynasty is wrong. So my goal is to, one by one, contact these audio engineers, the people who actually recorded the original records. Contact them. And I'm just praying that at least one of them will speak to me. You know what I'm saying? And if I can get one, at least I can have that individual just tell us how hard it is to get an original record off the ground from scratch. And I'm not talking about your little house record that you do in your basement, even though that could be really, really hard too. But what I'm talking about is Tony Maserati sitting in that studio. You can look at all the pictures on the internet of him. You can look at all the studios that he's worked in, and you look behind him and you see the gear. You see that outboard gear. You see the big console. You see all the stuff that's in those studios, in those rooms. And the stuff that he used on R. Kelly's vocals or countless other artists' vocals. How they did the piano, how they recorded the piano, how they mixed the pianos, the strings, and all the other instruments that come along with all the songs that he's ever done, that he's ever mixed and put together. All the stuff that went into that. And that's just inside in the studios that he worked in. His studios, they're treated. They're treated for sound. Those things are treated for audio, man. And that's just his perspective. I mean, as if I could get him for the interview, that would be his perspective. All the years that he went to school to learn that stuff that he learned, he knows. And if he didn't go to school for it, all the years he spent fighting to put the knowledge in his head by, being interns and stuff like that, putting all that knowledge into his head to learn how to mix those records down, to mix A Woman's Threat down the way that he did. Because that song is flawless. Flawless. That song is flawless, right? And then what happens after he mixes the record down? Where does the song go after he mixes the record down and puts it together? Think about all the steps that go into after the song is created. Who else put their hands on it and they put texture into that record? They put the glitz and the glamour that you love about the record, or the records that you're sampled from. What happens to those records? How much sonic saturation, sonic goodness you're hearing from these records that y'all are sampling, these original records that you're sampling from? Do you even know any of this information? But you're sampling from them. You're taking from them, right? So I asked them on Instagram in a message. Now I might get ignored. And I'm okay with that, because I know the game. I know what I'm saying. Like, I know the game. The game is multiple levels. You know what I mean? Like, I have this. First of all, I don't have the status. I don't have the status myself to say, like, yo, say something to him and he contacts me right back. I don't have that type of status, right? That's not it's not, it don't work like that. But possibly, maybe he might get back to me, or possibly another audio engineer might get back to me. Cause I'm gonna take my time with it. I'm gonna start asking these individuals to come through, and I'll do interviews and talk about the game and what it takes to make an original record and make it on a level that they're making it as. Excuse me. And I want y'all to see. I want you guys and you girls to see what you're sampling from and all the steps that you are skipping. You know, you're skipping steps and you're trying to act like you're not skipping steps. That's the key. That's the key here, man. When you're sampling a record, you are actually skipping a lot of steps. But you sitting in your house right now, in your mind, you're thinking you're not skipping no steps, but you are, and that's my biggest point. Hold on, let me turn down this heat, man. The windows, they look good now. They're not foggy anymore. I got to turn the heat down. So when you're skipping steps, man. But then when you skip those steps and you make a record, and you say like it's great, it's awesome, it's amazing, like yeah, nobody can do it like me. I put my own flavor to it. Yeah, this is my style. Nobody chopped the way I chopped. They didn't use the method that I used to chop. All these different things that sampling producers say. How when you skip so many steps to even get to that point. You skip if the song "A Woman's Threat" was never created by R. Kelly and was never engineered and recorded and mixed down by Tony Maserati, how could Ninth Wonder sample that? How could Jay-Z hit a record and say, yo, sample this for me? It's not even possible. It's not even possible for you to even grasp the concept to put a song together when you don't even have anything to go off of. You legit don't even have anything to spark your creativity. How? You know what I'm saying? How? Where are all these instrumentals coming from? These sample instrumentals coming from? We don't have anything to spark your creativity. It's almost saying like, yeah, your brains are like a sample. It's almost saying like this, man. A sample producer brain is just totally deep, man. Like it's like almost saying like your brain is dead until something sparks it. Like sample. You hear sample, that sparks your creativity. A producer that's creating from scratch, they're creating from a blank slate, but their emotions is what sparks their creativity from inside of them, from their heart. Your creativity comes from hearing somebody else's creativity. You're sampling from somebody else's work. That's what you're doing. You're literally sampling from somebody else's body of work. That's different from somebody who's creating from their heart that doesn't have anything in front of them. They're literally creating from their own heart, man. Shit that they've gone through in their lifetime. That's what their emotions are coming. That's when their emotions come into play when it comes to creating a song from scratch, totally original. They don't gotta hear Celine Dion singing to make a beat, man. They don't have to hear so many singers in the world like Marvin Gaye. They don't have to hear Marv singing for them to be inspired to make a song. And then they flip it and they act like they're the best producers in the world. I mean, have you seen yourselves and have you seen these guys, man? Even the big time producers, I've watched these guys, man, on Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube. I've seen them. They bopping their head like the beat is like so ill. They're so creative. They're so dope, man. If they in their minds, they're like, oh, if I didn't touch this original record and make this sample beat, man, whoo, this is me, man. Whoo, what? Anybody can touch that sample record and make a dope track. Think about how many producers there are. There's so many of us. You mean to tell me only Ninth Wonder could have flipped A Woman's Threat? What about you? Aren't you a sample-based producer? You couldn't flip A Woman's Threat and make that shit dope? You couldn't flip that? But I guarantee you probably, I don't know who you are, probably, I'm speculating, assuming But you can't sing like R. Kelly. You can't mix and record like Tony Maserati. I'm banking on that. I'm banking that you don't have the equipment that Tony Maserati has. I'm banking on that. I'm banking like you don't have the equipment of like all these studios out here in New York City, the big time studios. I'm banking you don't have that equipment in your house, or you've made like all your instrumentals on that equipment, that amazing gear that they have. I'm banking on that, because sonically, that's what you're stealing. Sonically, you're stealing sonic information. You are stealing sonic information, man. You can't tell me that you're not stealing sonics. You're getting sonics before an original producer can get sonics. I don't have sonics when I first start out making my beat, sitting at home in the studio. I don't have sonics yet. I have to first get the song idea, then I start making my beat from scratch, and then after I make my beat from scratch, I gotta mix the beat, and then in the process of mixing the beat, then I gotta start thinking about sonics. I gotta really think about sonics and how things is supposed to pop. That saturation. I gotta think about that shit, man. I gotta put it together. You get a sample off of YouTube, and you already got the sonics, man. You already got the sound composition sounding flawlessly. Besides the fact that you're getting YouTube compression, a lot of people don't think about that either. You're getting YouTube compression when you download over YouTube and you sample. But when these guys are snatching off a CD, they're getting that CD quality. When these guys are snatching off a record, they're getting that record quality. When these guys are snatching off of tapes, they're getting that tape quality. They're getting that good. You know what I'm saying? They're getting that good quality. And it's already mixed. And you just go with the flow. That's different, man. That's different. Now you can't, I don't understand how people are trying to really get their point across and say like, yo, they're right when you're skipping a lot of steps. That's my point, man. How do you skip steps and then you say you're right? That's like, let me tell you something, man. That's like in grade school when you didn't study for a test, but you either write down the answers to the test or something that might be close to the answers on your test under your shoe or on the palm of your hand like this, or on a piece of paper, or the smartest kid in your class, you have him write down the answers for you, and then you go and you answer all the test questions, and you get 100, like you aced the test, but you don't have no knowledge of how. And you know what I'm saying? You don't have no knowledge, really. You don't have no knowledge of excuse me. You have no knowledge on how to answer those questions. You don't know how to get. You don't even know how to get. You don't know how to pass that test by yourself. You don't know how to pass that test by yourself, man. You cheated. You cut corners, man. But yeah, you got to the finish line. You got the 100, so you got the bag, right? So all these sample producers got the bag. They got the money. That's all that matters to you, right? That's all that matters to you guys and you girls. That don't matter to me. Music, man. The foundation matters to me. That's what matters to me. Sound production from nothing to something, man. And I'm not talking about. And I'm definitely not talking about, when I sample, I'm starting from nothing. No, that's a lie. You're starting from a full record already and a premise and the idea for a song. That's where you're starting, man. You're not starting from nothing. Dude. Song is not starting from nothing. That is a flat out lie. And that is such a nasty lie too on the music industry, man. Because you want to defend, you try to defend your way of sampling by saying it's an art form and all. No, it's not an art form. It's theft. It's thievery, and y'all know it. Everybody knows it. Actually, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it's thievery. That's why the Congress put in laws to protect the original copyright owner. Everybody knows it, man. That is theft. If it wasn't theft, there wouldn't be no law. So y'all are cutting corners as sampling producers. But the key here is that I never even heard, like me, I didn't even hear people dissing sampling producers, man. I must have been living under a rock or something. I tell you that much. I think I was really living under a rock. I think I was living under a rock, man. Because I didn't hear people dissing sampling producers, man. Somebody must have been dissing sampling producers for sampling producers to have to come out and make up all this stuff to defend themselves. Come up with all these theories and logic on how they're taken from the audio engineers who mix down those classical records. Take it from the recording engineers, take it from the mastering engineers, take it from the actual artists themselves who sang those vocals. Take it from the people who actually put the texture and the grit, and the scientists that know how to put music on wax, put music on tape, put music on a CD. You gotta take it from all those people, man. Years of knowledge and science. You could just sample within 10 minutes and make a beat, man. I mean, what are we really talking about here? At least when somebody is creating original and they went out and bought their keyboard and they paying respect to the people who actually built that keyboard and they putting that money towards that, at least they're trying. At least if they don't know how to play the chords and stuff like that, at least they're trying to make music from scratch. You're gonna negate that? You're gonna totally negate that. The classical way to compose and make music, y'all gonna negate that and say sampling is harder and better and more creative and it's a real art form. It made hip hop. It made hip hop what hip hop is. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't care if hip hop was ever even created. That doesn't affect me as an artist for music. If you love music, then you'll be able to create music, man. Hip hop isn't the end all be all. Hip hop could be dead in 5 years, 10 years. There's genres that are dead right now. They were popping at one time and you don't hear nothing from them anymore. People don't even create that style anymore. So music will forever be here. I don't even have to be a hip hop producer. I could be a composer. I could just create sounds for cinematic films and things of that nature. I just love music. I love hearing my melodies anyway. I don't care about no kick drum, no 808 kick drum, no clap, no snare, none of that stuff. I don't care about that. That's why when you see me make my beats, I put the percussion in last. I'm going with my feelings and my emotions from scratch. When I'm creating a song, you could go on my YouTube channel right now. Go to my live streams when I'm creating music. You're going to see me sitting with the melody and the grooves first. I'm not even worried about percussion. Percussion is like a last thought, man. I don't even have to put in percussion if I don't want to. I could just sit there and rhyme or harmonize or try to sing over a melody and then call it a day. I don't need percussion. I don't need hip-hop drum patterns and hip-hop rhythms. The 4/4 time signature doesn't belong to hip-hop. Hip-hop doesn't own the 4/4 time signature. That's just a time signature of music. I mean, that's just a time signature. 7/8. That's a time signature for music. You know, it just helps. Like when you know, excuse me, when you know and you learn time signatures, that just helps you in your creative music process. If you understand time signatures and how to blend your sounds in between them. But a lot of people, if they don't know that, they'll run into problems. But when y'all are doing 4/4, man. I'm doing 4/4 when it's hip hop. So technically 4/4 is not even that hard. 4/4 time signature is not even that hard. Come on, man. Come on. Are we really gonna say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4? It's a hard time signature? Are we really gonna say that that's a hard time signature? I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm wondering, are we really gonna say that that's a hard time? Like, 3/4 is a hard time signature. 7/8 is a hard time signature. So creating original, right, and 4/4 time signature, it's really not that hard if you get a loop, right? Okay, you get a loop, right? And then sampling in the 4/4 time signature is not that hard if you manage to get those samples to loop up correctly, right? Which shouldn't even take you that long. It's just chop it up, put it on the pads, and just go about your business, right? But now I create original. So now I switch it and I go into 7/8 time signature. Your sampled 4/4 beat, it's not going to be good, man. Put a rapper on a 7/8 time signature, 3/4 time signature. They have to be a special rapper to rock over that, and you have to be a special producer to make that shit loop, and make it loop where people want to dance to it and all this and that. And you know what I'm saying? That's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I could be a composer and compose classical music that falls in all these different types of time signatures. And I could make music for different types of genres. And you just sample it on 4/4 because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, am I lying? You could literally go on YouTube and just type up hip hop instrumentals, and I guarantee you it's probably like 80% is looped up samples. And what time signature is it? It is at 4/4, right? Come on, man. So, hopefully, man, I'm gonna see if it's possible for me to get out there and speak to these audio engineers, so they could come with their knowledge, man, and speak the truth from a different level, different perspective on how they create. How is it possible for you to even get to the point of sampling from them or from the records that they work on? That's my main goal, man. With this little bit of a you know what I'm saying, journey I'm about to try to go on. You know what I mean? So yeah, said depends where you go. It could be a few hundred to 10K per session. Yeah. So sorry, man, I missed your comment. I'm talking and driving. I didn't want to read the comments. I shouldn't even be talking and driving. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. That's me doing something I shouldn't be doing anyway. But yeah, so I apologize. I missed your comment when you said it. You're probably not in the live stream anymore. But exactly. So depending on where you go, it could be a lot of money to create a song original. Like a lot of money, right? A lot of money. The gentleman, well, the male or female, I don't know who y'all are, you know what I'm saying? So the guy or the girl in the comment section said literally, depends where you go, it could be a few thousand, 10K, a few, 40,000, you know what I'm saying? 50,000, 40,000, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be 100,000. It could be a lot of money when you go to those big studios to create the songs, to get the sonics, to get the real quality. You're sampling that type of quality. That's the type of quality you're sampling when you're sampling from these major records. That's what you're getting. You're cutting super corners, man. And people are acting like they're not cutting corners, man. They're acting like because they you know what's so crazy about this whole sample thing, man? You know, I got so many people hate me now on YouTube, right? A lot of people hate me. Hate my guts, right? Because I'm talking about this. But man, I don't even know, man. I did like like I hold on. So I'll say this. What if a law passes? What if a law passes and they say no more sampling at all? No more sampling at all. No more sampling. You cannot sample from another person's record. What if a law passes that comes along like that? Sorry, I'm trying to get over a lane. Oh, yeah, street's all messed up over here. What if a law passes that says you cannot sample from another person's composition anymore, like at all? You cannot. Or Or better yet, this is a point that I'm going to bring up in my cinematic video. Hear me out. There's a point that I'm going to bring up in my cinematic video. I want y'all to hear me out. I know the people hit me in the comment section, but I apologize because I'm driving, you know what I'm saying, and doing this live stream. I shouldn't even be doing this. But I have a point. What if they say, now, if you sample, and the people in the live stream right now, there's not a lot of people in here, so you're going to hear this point. A lot of people are not going to hear this point. If you sample, right, the people who devices, the equipment that was used, they gotta go in credits. What if they now put the audio equipment, the recording devices, the SSL consoles, all these different things, excuse me, the Rupert Neve compressor, all these Manleys and all this stuff into the credits. And if you sample, now the royalties go to not only the original copyrighted owner of the composition, but it goes to the audio engineer, the recording engineer, the mastering engineer. It goes to the people who created the equipment that you're taking from, that you skipped and bypassed. That you didn't have to spend $100,000 to build that studio that song was recorded in, but you go on a sample from them and say it's art. But what if they put that into law, saying like, so you can't sample? What if they say you can sample, but you know what I'm saying? Now the royalties go to them people, and you don't get no royalties. You just did a remix. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like y'all to be honest, you samplers y'all playing with fire. They're only allowing you guys to sample. They're only allowing you guys to sample because there's money involved with it, man. Because there's always money, dude. It's always money, man. It's always money. But to me, the right people are not getting paid the money, man. The record labels who clear your samples, they're getting paid buku dollars. But the people who created that hardware that you're stealing from, they're not getting paid buku dollars. They only got one payment. They literally got one payment from the person who bought that compressor that cost $3,000. And if they wanted a stereo, they gotta buy two. That's $6,000. Some compressors cost $4,000 just for one channel, the left channel or the right channel, whatever you want to use it on. That's $8,000 for compressors. That's just one set of compressors. All the compressors operate differently. So they only got one payment for that. The record labels, execs, these people, they getting money off of the artists. They getting money off of the original record. They're getting money off of you sampling. They're making a boatload of money. But the people who put in the hard work, hard work, they're not receiving money off of that. What if the company started saying, nah, man, these people are stealing from everybody. These samplers are stealing from us, man. They didn't buy the stuff that created that song. What if they start saying, put that in the credits? Put the equipment that you used to make that original record in the credits. And if you sample, no, you don't get no royalties. Then what? Sample game will be over. Then what you gonna do? Create original now? And then you're going to say, yo, man, my beats are hard. I created original, man. It was hard for me to make. Now you're going to start saying like, oh, creating music is hard, right? Right? Now you're going to start saying creating music is hard. Like, yeah, because I had to create original, man. It's hard. Because now if somebody says, nah, you created that song original, it wasn't hard. You're going to be tight because that's the way that you create. That's the way that you create. You're going to be tight, son. You're going to say, nah, man, creating an original is hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, right? If you can't sample no more, now you're going to stick up for people who create original, right? Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to do. And that's facts. Let me jump in the comments and see what y'all talking about. And if you hating, that's a reflection of you. Just let you know. That don't bother me. All right, let me see. Now, I'm going to snitch on you for using your phone while driving. Just kidding. Ha! I can't, man. Please don't, man. Please don't. Please don't. That's funny. I need water. That's my problem. It's just running my mouth. I got water. I'm gonna drink some. I gotta get into work. Yeah. So he said, I think there's nothing wrong with sampling, but I like those types of beats that flip the sample that way, so it's something new. Like Jay Dilla, he said, don't cry. But listen, man, why don't? I don't. It shouldn't. Even, to be honest, I don't think. I think people always talk about Jay Dilla, Jay Dilla, Jay Dilla. You know, I don't like it when people look up to these people like they're gods, man. I don't even watch Jay Dilla videos. I've never seen a Jay Dilla video. I'm not worried about Jay Dilla and what he's doing. I'm worried about me and music. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hate on you, brother. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you should be worrying about your music, your technique, and your style. Create your own way. Like the way I create music, people say my music is trash. You wanna know why? Because my music don't sound like theirs. My beats don't sound like theirs. I created my own style called Ghost Wave. My own way of creating music. I'm not worried about no way that people flip. I'm not even worried about Knife Wonder and the way he flipped. I just don't like the fact that Knife Wonder said that people who create original is easy, and the way they play the keyboards and stuff like that, it's not skilled, and all the shit that he was saying in those videos. Nah, man, he doesn't get to just voice his opinion, and we don't have a voice. We don't have an opinion. That's messed up. I'm gonna drink some water. Hold on. So I don't even care about no Jay Dilla flipping beats and the way he flipped it. He wouldn't be able to flip that song, Don't Cry, the whatever. I don't care how he did it. It's irrelevant. The song that he flipped was created by somebody. He wouldn't even be able to flip and take from somebody if it wasn't created. It doesn't matter. There's so many things you could do in this world. It doesn't even have to be music. But if you take for somebody else's creation and just make something else and say like it was dope the way you did it, I don't believe in that logic, man. Musicians just play the music. Mixing is made by engineers. But that's not a true statement. I'm being honest with you, it's not a true statement, because a lot of people are multi-talented. Just because your title might be engineer, you might be a musician. Some people are jack of all trades, and some people have to learn more than one thing. Hold on. So when you're making a beat at home with your MPC, you are an audio engineer. You are. If you actually do the steps as an audio engineer. When you're a mixing engineer when you're mixing on your MPC. How great of a mixing engineer are you? Well, that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know until your record comes out. So you could do it all yourself. I'm doing everything myself. I'm making my beats from scratch. No sampling, from scratch. I'm rhyming. I'm harmonizing my chorus. I'm mixing my tracks. I'm shooting my own music videos. I'm chopping up my own videos. I'm working in Premiere Pro. I dice up my own music videos, put my own effects to it. I've been working in Photoshop for 20 years. I work in Adobe Premiere Pro. Adobe Illustrator. You know what I'm saying? Doing vector art. I built my website. I know HTML, CSS. I know all that. So I built my website from scratch. Multi-talented. There's so many different fields that I fall into. So when I'm sitting at home and I'm doing music production from scratch and I'm doing all these steps, you can't tell me that it's easy, man. That's why I want to get Tony Maserati on the interview. Now I'm gonna see if I can get him. If I get Tony Maserati on the interview, I want to see what he tells the people, tells the world. I gotta go, man. But if you want, you can subscribe to the channel. We could talk later. I'm gonna be talking about this topic. This topic is hot right now. It's hot. So hit me up. You know what I'm saying? You can hit me up on Instagram, all the social medias or whatever, and we can continue this conversation. But I do appreciate your commenting. I do appreciate you commenting because I like the open discussion. I like to talk, you know what I'm saying, back and forth with the people. Hit me up. I'm out of here, though. All right? And check out the other videos. If you haven't seen the other videos of me breaking down the whole Knife Wonder stuff, go check it out, baby. Go check it out. I'm going to get out of here.